We know that Republicans and Democrats are battling over school funding right now. Republicans have been pushing for $9.6 billion, while Democrats have been pushing for $9.3 billion. Why are Republicans pushing for more money now when 2 years ago Republicans didn't support the Student Success Act, which guaranteed $2 billion a biennium?
This is super simple. Schools are one of our constitutional obligations, and we have general fund dollars, we have income tax dollars. Schools should always be job one inside this building. You know, when you set aside the opportunity to fully fund schools only if you raise taxes to do it, that diminishes the priority of education of our students long term. And the Student Success Act assumed that what schools needed was one-time dedicated funding. If you take a look at how that money was divvied up, that didn't help schools keep the lights on. That didn't help schools maintain local control. That was the legislature serving as a school board and saying, you know what, we want to give you money for specific purposes and you need to do what we say. Schools need full funding that, in fact, is flexible enough for our local elected school boards to be able to direct that money to the needs of their unique students. And that's what 9.6 does. And had we had the opportunity in the 2019 session to fully fund schools with general fund dollars, we would have done it. The approach that Democrats took was to say, kids don't get full funding unless we get more taxes. And that isn't how we should approach this long term. We have to understand that there's a few things that are directed to the state legislature in the Constitution. Schools is one of them. And so once you start looking at priorities, and if you believe like I do that budgets express priorities, you have to say that the future of our state is dependent on the strength of our public school system. And we can't continue to underfund it, and we can't continue to set it aside and say you don't get what you need unless we raise new taxes to do it. We have the money to do it. We should prioritize it now. We should prioritize it every session.
House Republican Leader Christine Drazan.